I thought this workflow on a live build, that's a live stream some days back, and I've got quite a number of people asking me how I built it and to show them the way, walk them through the way I built it. And now I'm going to show you the way I built it, but I'm not going to start from scratch, just going to explain it to you and walk you through how it was built. Now the workflow here, this is an automation that captures leads from maybe your website, your SaaS environment, or wherever, or your CRM, or wherever you want it to pick this data from. But basically using a form, that's using the form method, right? So I'm going to come here to the webhook and I would listen to a test event while I'm going to use the postman, right? So I'm using I'm using post data to do this, but um, here I'm going to close this because I'm using post data. So I'm coming here to, okay, I'm using Postman and I'm going to use post here, right? So I'm going to clean this data. Now you should be very careful while testing your data. Ensure that your data is well cleaned, so to avoid errors during the testing. Now that's my test data. I'm going to copy the link from this webhook. I'm going to copy the link from this webhook and put here, and watch out what the response is going to be. Now looking at below, you can see 200, okay, that is a successful test, right? And yes, down below it, okay, just see it's 200, okay, right? So I'm going to go back, and here it's that data I posted is here on the output. Look at the output here, it's here, and that data is, the name is John Smith, John at example, 15K, and all that, right? So that is the first data. Now, how you're going to do this is I'm going to pin this here. And the reason I am pinning this, like I always say, the reason I am pinning this here is that because you're going to need this data over time. You're going to need it to work. That if you don't pin it for each time you need data to come here, you are going to get fresh data to put there. That means you're going to Postman or wherever to run a fresh data to send, right? But when you pin it here, that data remains there. And as you can see here, it's showing one item. Okay. Now, this is the data cleaning. The data cleaning is simply you adding the code node. Look at the code node here. You add the code node and then put your code. Now, this is a low code, no code platform. That's the N10, right? You necessarily do not really know how to code. You can go to your Claude, your Gemini, your ChatGPT, or even your Grok to generate this code. Now, a very powerful way or a very simple way to do this is you highlight this and give it a prompt on what code you need it to generate for you and what you want to achieve with it. Now, I've already written this code manually by myself. I wrote this code, and this code here cleans the data. The code cleans this data here, right? It cleans this data and sends it to the qualification path. So let's try it and see. You're going to see the difference here. Let me open this code node so you see. I can see, let me send this somewhere here. Right, okay. Let me send this somewhere here and okay. I can see, right, on my left here, you would see the details. The details, name is John, email is John as example, and marketing agency, and biggest challenge is that he can't do this or he can't do that. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see that the name is John, the email is John, everything remains the same, right? But now, the monthly revenue has changed, right? So it has cleaned the $15,000 to 15,000, which means it removed the dollar and removed this comma here, removing the comma, making it a number so our logic can work with it. Okay. Now, looking at down here, you'll see the biggest challenge is here, the biggest challenge, right? Look at my left, look at my right. So biggest challenge is here, and also the biggest challenge is here. Now there is something extra in it. Then the biggest challenge character count here is 151, but it is not here. Now, because we, with this code here, with the code node, I counted the character. So in our logic, while sending the qualified and non-qualified, we can use the number of characters the lead has written. Getting to know if this person is actually a serious lead or he's not a serious lead, right? Or if he's qualified or he's not qualified. Now this is it, right? So the character count is 151. That is what this code node does. Okay, with this code I've written here. Okay, then yeah. And then look at here, it's green over here because I've sent the data, I've processed it and it has sent. Then I'm going to now run it here. Now, because of the code node, okay, look at the qualification path where that code nodes becomes very, very important. And the qualification path here is this. If monthly revenue is greater than or equal to $10,000 and if the character count within the challenge is more than 50 character count, it means the person is qualified. All right. Now, else the person is not qualified. And in this case, this person is qualified. You can see the character count is 151 and the monthly revenue is 15,000. Okay, so the person is qualified and the person, this lead is going to the qualified node. And the qualified node, we are using the AI to generate the email to this lead, right? We're using the AI to generate and everything goes to the person automatically. We don't have to start writing this stuff. So, or this email rather. So now I look at this AI node here, right? So what you now have to do while inside this AI node, AI agent node, right? You have to choose your source for prompt. You have to select it below and map all these details. You're going to map these details. The details you want the AI to work with, you will map the details over there, right? That means you just drag and drop, you drag and drop. Now that is just it. Then I need a required specific output. I'm going to tell you the reason for required specific output just in a minute. Okay. Now I'm going to add here, I'm going to add an option or add prompt, which is the system prompt, right? There is a system prompt and look at the system prompt. Now in the prompt, I say you are social person and a professional business coach who helps people. Then I still gave the AI the details I wanted. I gave it a character, gave it a personality, gave it character and all that. Gave it even CTA on how to invite them to. That is why writing the email, right? Now, going further, you see I can't connect. Now, this AI node or this LLM node is not complete except you've added your AI model. And the AI model I'm using here is Open Router. And with the Open Router, I'm using ChatGPT 4.1 mini, right? Which is still going to write the email correctly for us. Okay. And here, because of that output requires specific output, I have to put, it has to ask for output parser. So you just have to click it and add the output parser. And this output parser, I just need it to output only two things, which is the body of the email and the subject of the email. So subject and body. Now coming from here, coming from the AI itself, you would see everything is the same. Everything is all combined into one text, right? But here, after using the structured output parser, it splits the subject and the body, split them as two items coming from the AI node, right? So that is it. And here is the email node. I'm now going to, let me process this so you can see the email node. Manually, you still have to map it. You have to take your subject, you map your subject, and who is it going to? You pick from this path here where the person you want, the email address, you map the email address, the subject, you map the subject from, the AI, right? When you map the subject from the AI, then the message, you map the message from the AI. And because we do not have currently on this workflow, you don't want it to output in HTML, just a plain text, and it will also go correctly, right? So you just put text and leave the HTML. And when you output, you see label, sent, and all that, okay? So if I check my mail right now, or if John checked his mail wherever he is, he has received this email, right? Now, another thing is we are not going to store this lead. Then we have a spreadsheet somewhere. We have a spreadsheet somewhere where these leads are stored, right? So people have to, while people send these leads, the spreadsheet is going to capture the leads and save them for the business owner to take a look at, right? Now, this is very, very important because if you don't do this, it means that the leads will come in and they will flow out. You don't have any database where these leads are stored. So while making your workflows or your automations, you have to always ensure that you have your leads stored. Okay, this is very, very important. Absolutely important, not even negotiable, right? So now this is the lead name from the from my spreadsheet. I've already set the spreadsheet for to lead name, the email, qualification status, AI generated message. So I need the spreadsheet to save what this person has generated, right? The generated message, right? Sorry, what the AI had generated. I need the spreadsheet to save it so that I can always go back to that spreadsheet, or the business owner can always go back to that spreadsheet to refer back to, or to know what the AI generated. Now, this is that here. Okay. Now, if I execute this step, it's going to show me successful, and you see, it has saved here. You can see here, lead name is saved. Here, email is saved. Here, qualification status is qualified, and here the message has been sent to the person, right? Which, so it stored all those details. Now on the edit field is another field I'm going to use. Now the edit field is going to just enable us, or enable this workflow to save, to clearly define values to be merged, right? So this is it. These are the fields I need to be merged, and look at them here. So I set those things in the edit field, and on the merge, let me also process here. And on the merge node, look at the merge node here. I just simply, since it's coming from two channels, I'll simply do append, not combine. Now append makes it that if both of them are matching, right? So which means the edit field from below and the edit field from above are going to be the same. Like they have to have the same variables, right? The same names. All right. So when they come, they append, and whichever flows first, it just goes, right? I'm going to show you the reason for this in a minute. Now this is this, right? Now let me go down to the disqualified routes. So to get the disqualified routes, now I'm going to do this here. I'm going to process this, and I'm going to process this here, and I pin. Okay, I'm going to pin this data here. I'm going to pin this data here. Then I'm going to now go back to Postman and make this person not to be qualified. All right, I'm going to make him not to be qualified just by removing, from 10,000 upward means the person is qualified, but 10,000 and below means he's not qualified. So instead of him being qualified, now what I'm going to do is I will pin this data and execute this node. So when I execute this node, I'll listen for test events, then go to Postman and send it again. Now I'm sending it again now because I've reduced the monthly revenue to $1,000 instead of $15,000, because I need this person not to be qualified. So I can simply show you how to work with the unqualified path. Now you can see here, it has gone through the data cleaning, and the same thing like I explained earlier on. Now it has gone through the non-qualified path. That's it here. Qualification path, non-qualified, right? Look at here. And it's going to store the unqualified lead, just like I did before. Look at the, you're going to still append the spreadsheets, store them, like save them in the spreadsheet. Then I'm going to execute here. So executing is successful, and the code node, the same thing. I'm going to map the email address, or sorry, the email node, the same thing. And now I'm adding extra edit node. Now you can choose to make your workflow the way you want, right? Maybe if I just making one edit field node or two. Now I have to come here to edit it again by ensuring that the detail here on the upper leg and the lower leg are the same. which is why I said I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now look at this. I need to make sure the name, email, qualification status, and message, they're coming the same, right? This is name, email, qualification status, and message. Now this is so that when I append, when I execute, they can flow, right? You can see that initially it did not flow, but now because they are now both legs are now coming with identifiable or with matching values, you can see that it has flown through the merge node, and here is respond to webhook node. Now, respond to webhook node is simply sending back this data to where it came from. And now, when you get to this point, what you have to do, you come to the first webhook node and pick here respond to webhook. That's using respond. Now you say using respond to webhook node, right? So when you say respond to webhook node, it's going to send this data down here. Now let's test this in action. Let's test this in action. Assuming somebody is working on your, let's say someone is working on your SaaS, or you have someone filling in something from your website and you need the person to get an instant feedback and as well as getting instant email on his or her email right now. I'm going to execute this workflow here right now. I'm going to send this data. Now let's look here very well. Right, just look, you can see that the data has come back here. Okay, initially it wasn't coming back, right, but now it has come back. Meaning now it tells me that okay, this is my email, this is my name, this is qualification status. You say, dear John Smith, thank you so much for sharing your interest, but this person is not qualified here, right? He's not qualified, so he's not going to. Now let me change this to 15,000 as it was, and I go here to execute a step. Now, when I execute this step, you're going to see that message is going to be different, right? The message is going to be different. Let me execute here. Now, the AI is going to generate the message, and you can see, hi John, I completely understand how frustrating it can be to be stuck below 20K per month while working 60 hours a week doing everything yourself. It's tough to take this, right? So the AI generated this message and gave us the AI generated the message actually, and added everything on its own, and I didn't have to do anything. Okay, now this is an automation that solves that issue, solves that situation. Now, there's a little bit of technicalities, then you now have to put into consideration your error handling. Now, the error handling I used here is just for this here, right? But however, I added error handling techniques here to redo, like to retry over here and to retry over here again, like 3 times, right? 3 times if it fails, 3 times it fails, then let's give me feedback, right? So look at it here. I'm going to receive email whenever this LLM chain here fails, right? So thank you. See you in the next video.